here with Sully. You can see we have the transitional leash over Sully's nose. He's looking at the dogs over, checking into the kennel, trying to see who he's going to get to play with today. So right now he stood up, so I'm just lifting up the weight of an apple. So really light pressure, just holding up, waiting for Sully to put his bum down. So you can see, I'll finish talking about the transitional leash. We have the transitional leash on Sully right now. It goes across his nose and behind his ears and around the back. This just helps me have more control on him without having to jerk on his throat or pull on him on a harness and manhandle him. I want Sully to learn how to make good decisions on his own, and this is going to help me guide him. This is going to help me teaching. So right now I'm just lifting up the weight of an apple, really light pressure still. I'm waiting for Sully to put his bum down. He sees the kennel and he sees some of his friends checking in, and he's like, whoa, I'm ready to go play. He already had some free play, so now we're doing training walk. There's 4 steps to our training that we'll do here every day and that we'll tell the owners to do when they go home. And the first one is free play, where they just get to play in the yard. The second one is the training walk. We're not going to do a ton of walking today. We're going to be introducing Sully to the transitional leash and helping him figure out how to yield to pressure. So right there I just gave a little distance pressure along with my contact pressure through the leash. And now we're chilling for a second. Now we're just going to walk around a little bit. We're not really going to go anywhere right now. We're just exploring and getting used to things. What I do want though is I need Sully to not pull on the leash, not create pressure. I don't mind if he sniffs, but he's got to be at a loose leash beside me. So again, we're just getting him used to this leash. We're really not doing a long mile walk or anything. We're just getting him used to what the leash means, how the pressure works. I'm going to come back to the concrete. I'm going to lift up the weight of an apple. And again, I'm going to sit here and hold. You saw earlier I sat here and hold for, I don't know, almost a minute. Now I'm going to wait 3 minutes or 4 minutes with just this light pressure before I offer that distance pressure. So this is called contact pressure because the leash is contacting him. Where I stepped in front of him and put distance pressure, which is where I'm just sitting in front of him, not touching him, that was distance pressure. He knows that one. He's really good at that one because we do that in the yards while they're playing with their friends. So he is great at that. But I want him to learn this new contact pressure. So again, I'm going to sit here for 3 or 4 minutes and just hold like this. As soon as his bum goes down, I will release that weight, this apple pressure weight for Sully, for him to put for that release. That is his reward for putting his bum down. I'm not going to record the whole time because that'd be a really long video of you watching this exact thing. But once his bum goes down, I'll restart it. Alright, so Sully put his bum down and I released that pressure. As soon as his bum went down, my hand went down. And I'm standing at his side. I'm just going to chill here for as long as it took him to put his bum down. And I want him just to practice this cool, calm, and collected stance. What I'm doing is I'm teaching Sully a coping skill. Sorry, that was a tongue twister. I'm wanting him to learn what to do instead of being reactive, what to do instead of pulling, what to do instead of running to see his friends, what to do when he's unsure, what to do when he's anxious. This is the skill we're learning. It's a calming skill. Oh, so there he stood up, and as soon as he stood up, the weight of the apple is back on. Oh, he did it all on his own. That was beautiful, Sully. And you notice as soon as he sat, my hand went down, so the leash is nice and loose. That's what we're going for. His friends are still checking in at the office, but he put himself in a calm state due to my contact pressure. Right now we're going to be using contact pressure and distance pressure to change his mindset, and then eventually he'll be able to make those choices on his own. But it's going to take time and practice. Alright, it started pouring while we were on our walk, so I couldn't make videos outside for a minute until it settles down. So now we're just finishing up so I can make some videos in the house of what we were doing outside. I'm just walking in whatever shapes I want, no particular shape. When Sully starts to play at the leash, you saw he kind of started pawing at it. I'm just going to lift up the weight of an apple, and we're going to do this reset. This is where I have him put his bum down. Let's fall on him. I have him put his bum down and have a minute, chill, and then we just start walking again. I'm just letting him know I'm with him. I understand this is new. We're taking our time, and I'm being patient, and I'm helping him feel it. Oh, so there he's still with it. Lift up the weight of an apple. And you can see how it just gives him a moment to rethink. That's what I'm wanting. I'm wanting him to learn how to think instead of react. So we're just chilling here for a little while. And then we'll start walking again. You can see as we're walking, I'm wanting that nice loose leash. So we're going to go over a few tools to make that nice loose leash, to those cues that there's pressure on the leash. Right now, the only ones you've seen two steps. That reset, where I haven't put his thumb down, and then right now you see how I'm kind of just like flicking my hand. I want it to be nice and loose, so anytime there's pressure on it, I will correct that. I'm going to do a reset, so there's pressure on it, or I just lift up the weight of an apple, and I'm just going to wait for Sully. I'm going to wait for him to put his thumb down. As soon as his thumb goes down, my hand goes down. So while we're sitting here, I want to address one of the most important things of walking Sully is your hand position. Okay, and how long the leash is. So you can see the leash is short but loose, okay? My hand is positioned by my side, but it's actually a little bit slightly behind me. I don't know if you can see it right here. It's slightly behind me. Oh, I'm just going to lift up because he stood up. Even while I'm telling you this. Because I need Sully to learn how to walk. See how I keep positioning myself leg to leg? I don't want his legs to get farther in front of me. I can be anywhere between the collar and the leg, anywhere in between there. I'm still lifting up the weight of an apple because while I was demonstrating, he stood up. They're letting the dogs out behind me, and he can hear them opening and shutting the doors. So he's interested. There we go. His bone went down, the leash goes down. As soon as I put that leash down, the hand goes right back to my side. So again, it's here beside me, but it is slightly behind me, by my side. This is so, if you look right here at the leash, sorry, those shadows are kind of interesting. As soon as there's pressure on the leash, so right there's a little bit of pressure. Do you see that pressure on the leash? If you notice, he is in front of me. I want there to be pressure on that leash when he is in front of me, so he learns this feels good. That's where I want him to be. Is that nice at my side, at a nice loose leash. This is so Sully learns how to walk without pressure on the leash. If I'm always walking just behind Sully, and there's always pressure on the leash, one, he doesn't see me and recognize me. He's on his own walk. He's not walking with me. He has no clue where I'm at if I'm not beside him. He can't see me. Two, if he's always walking with pressure on the leash, he's always going to be pulling just a little bit. I want no pressure on this leash. So that hand position is your number one thing. Figure out your hand position. Figure out the length of your leash so that when he steps in front of you, right there, pressure, I can use one of my 5 tools that we're going to go over this week. So again, you've only learned two tools, but what I want you to focus on throughout today is the hand placement. Right by my side, nice loose leash. Right by my side, nice loose leash. Not in front of me like this, and he doesn't know where I'm at, where he's at. Not with my hand picked up like this. I want it straight beside me, slightly behind me. Nice loose leash. And then we're going to add, once you get your placement, then you get to add in those tools. So far, we've only learned 2 tools. The reset, Sully just reset himself. He said, I needed a mind break. Perfect, have a mind break. That time, he didn't play with the leash. He just sat down. You see how we're progressing? It's only our first session. Earlier, I was holding up for 4 minutes before he'd sit down. Now he's sitting down quickly. Before he'd play with the leash, and then we'd have to sit down. Now he's sitting himself down. We're making great progress, and we're just begun. That is amazing, Sully. So hand placement is what we're taking away. Make sure you're watching the hand placement throughout the week, and we're going to go over the tools. First tool we've learned is the reset, where we lift up the weight of an apple. We wait for Sully to put his thumb down. Oh, there's someone in front of us. That's going to make this a little more difficult. No, we're just going to keep waiting. I'm not going to force Sully to sit. I'm just going to chill and wait here for him. There we go. Beautifully, there's someone in front of us. The other thing that we're doing, the other tool we've learned is the flick. Those are the only 2 tools we've learned for correcting when there's pressure on the leash. But the main thing we're learning, along with the tools, is the hand placement. So you got your hand placement and you've got 2 tools. We'll learn the other 3 tools later. So we've taken the transitional leash off of Sully. And now I'm just walking C shapes around him. When he gets off the bed, I'll use the leash to put him back on the bed. Oh, you go turn the all put your face on the paper. So you can see we've taken the transitional leash off of Sully's nose. Sorry, he keeps getting off off, which is totally fine. That's part of the learning process. So we've taken the transitional leash off of Sully's nose. It is still around his neck though and placed on the bed because he's going to try to get off this bed 500 times. When he gets off the bed, I'm going to use distance pressure, which is where I use that body pressure that you've been seeing, to put him on the bed, or I will grab the leash and place him on the bed. The leash is there only as a tool to help me get him to the bed without having to touch on him. It's easy to step on a leash and catch a dog. It's really hard to catch a dog who's like playing chase around my island. So we leave the leash on there. And then I'm just going to do C shapes back and forth from one side to the other side, to one side to the other side, and make them bigger and bigger and bigger until Sully's doing good. Once he's doing good, I'm going to start doing things around the kitchen. I'm going to go do some dishes, I'm going to sweep, I'm just going to kind of do my normal life things. What I'm working here is I'm wanting Sully to learn to be calm, cool, and collected in the home, off leash, right? So right now, technically there's a leash, but I'm not like holding the leash. He doesn't know there's a leash. If you don't have a race cot, you're going to want to get one. You can get them from Petco, Amazon. Amazon ships in like 2 days, so you can get that pretty quick. You'll want one before he gets home. The reason this is important is this is Sully's safe space, especially for dogs who have any sort of anxiety. They need a safe space, and it needs to not be you. If you are their safe space, they're going to have anxiety when you leave. But if I can create a safe space for the dog, no matter what, they have a spot to go. Maybe it's fireworks that scare them. Maybe it's you being gone. Maybe it's people knocking at the door. Whatever that is, if I can create a safe space, I will slowly get rid of all of those things that cause anxiety. So, get a raised bed. So first we did our free play, which is where he gets to play outside. For us, it looks like playing with his friends at the kennel, or in the backyard with the chuck-it, playing fetch, or running around, just something where he's getting his boogers out. He's free play, he's having fun. Then we did the training walk. You saw we did the training walk outside. We had to do some training walk inside so I could record some more. Now we're doing our bed. So we're at step 3 of 4. So we're going to do the bed. He's going to stay on this bed for his first time for about 20-ish minutes. But we're going to work up to about being on the bed at about 5 hours. So, or longer. My dog will sit on his bed for, I don't know, depending on if he needs to use the bathroom, 6, 7 hours. He'll stay there all day. So I want him to learn how to have a safe spot. If I don't practice here for extended periods of time and I let him sit on my couch, this doesn't become a safe space. My couch becomes the nice spot, right? This is Sully's safe space. I can move this bed around anywhere I want, and I'll put it in his room for reflection, but he doesn't get to move around. He needs to know he's good here. If he can't understand safety and figure out how to regulate himself on a 3x4 bed, he's not going to be able to do it in your 2,000 square foot home, right? He's got to be able to do it in a small space first, and then months down the road he'll be able to do it in your home, but it's going to take time of practice, right? So what we're learning from this, we're going to go over this lots all week long. So we went over the free play, we went over the training walk. Right now we're focusing on purchasing a raised cot. So wherever you want to get one, you're going to buy a cot in whatever color, whatever style. It just needs to see how it's raised a little bit. It needs to be raised, okay? When we put him on it, we're going to walk C shapes. I'm going to do that a few more times real quick and show you those C shapes and knowing how to do that distance pressure. As soon as he sat, I turned away and I go right back to my C shape. Turning in towards Sully. If my table wasn't here, as soon as he sat, I open up. If my table wasn't here, maybe I'll move it in a second, I'd get farther and farther away from Sully. Now I'm going to walk on this side of the table. I'll set it up before the next bit. There you go, stop. I'm going to walk over. Walk away. So you see how I tried to do distance pressure to the bed. He didn't quite get it. He sat down right there, but I wanted him to go farther. So I just grab the leash, help him to his bed, apply the distance pressure. As soon as he sits, I remove that pressure. That is his reward. I'm not going to pet him and tell him good boy. I'm not going to give him a treat. I'm going to release that pressure. That's your reward, so it's important that you release the pressure. Don't stand there over him like distance pressure. Good job, he did it. Everyone, look, he did it. Like, that's not the reward. The reward is opening up away from Sully. And that's how we start with the bed. Here we are again with Sully. We're on round 2. We had our free play, training walk, bed, reflect. We just finished free play. Now we're going back to our training walk. So first thing, if you remember, most important is where am I holding onto the leash and where is my hand placed. So I'm placing my hand at my side. Not too far, it's like right there. Depends on where I hold the camera. Anyway, so, and at my side, straight arm, down, loose leash, but it would be tight if you got ahead of me. And now we're going to start our walk. Yeah, you can walk with me. You can't hold the leash, but you can walk with us. Sorry. Alright, so Caleb's going to walk with us too. So, we've only learned 2 tools so far. We've learned that patient reset, the patient sit, which is what we just did. Sully really loves Caleb, and so he wanted to say hi to him, but that's not what we're doing right now. So he needed a mental break, right? He needed to say, all right, I gotta chill for a second. So we've only learned 2 of our 5 tools for walking. This one, the reset, the patient sit, and the flick. This is where I just flick my wrist. And I'm doing those. I do any tool anytime that there's pressure on the leash. I can do that patient sit or that reset anytime. That one does not have to be just whenever we're walking. It can also be anytime I want to. The reason we practice that one so often is often I need to stop and check my mail. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to put his thumb down. Oh, he's fiddling with it. It's alright. When he fiddles, I'm just going to fiddle back. Scott just ran past us. I don't know if you can see his feet. I might need to stop and check my mail. I might want to stop and tie a shoe. I might want to stop and talk to a neighbor. If I don't practice this patient reset with little to no distractions, he's not going to be able to do it when there's a big distraction, right? So right now I'm having more than little to no distractions. I have Caleb running around me, and I have Scott running around me, and that's totally fine because Sully is handling well with it. I'm just wanting him to learn. You see Caleb, he's literally doing laps around us. There he is. I'm wanting Sully to learn how to be calm, cool, and collected in real life situations. If we go to a park with a bunch of kids and they're all running, I want him to learn to sit here. So I have to practice it. I can't wait until I'm flustered and he's flustered and now I'm trying to get him to sit and be still. I'm practicing all the time. So each walk you go on, I want you to practice at least 12 times stopping and sitting. And he can sit for 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you want, but I want you to practice and get him used to it. And now we're just walking through around the driveway for a little while, getting him used to it. He's doing really awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to another tool. So we have the flick. I just did the flick. I'm going to do some zigzags. That's where I just turn. Okay. Sorry, that was not a zigzag. That was dirty. Where I zig and I zag. And I zig and I zag. So I'm not going any direction in particular. I'm just kind of going all over the place. That's going to help Sully learn to watch me, not be on autopilot that we're just walking down the sidewalk. I'm going to zig and zag back and forth from one end of the sidewalk to the other end of the sidewalk. I'm going to just a little bit. There we go. And so he's just learning to pay attention to me. I'm just going to kind of bump right into him. While I do the zigzags, you'll see I kind of implement the flicks also. That's why we learned that first. So now we have 3 training tools. I have the reset, the flicks, and the zigzags. Another tool that I have is the direction change, which is what I accidentally did the first time because I ran out of sidewalk. And that's just where you completely turn around and go the other direction. I generally use that one whenever there's something in front of him he really wants and he's creating lots of pressure. I'll turn around and walk away until he's calm, and then I'll turn around and walk back towards it. As soon as he gets overly excited, I turn around and walk back the other direction. When he's calm, I'll go back towards it. until eventually I'm able to pass it in a calm, cool, and collected manner. That's a direction change. The final one I will teach you later. We're not ready for that one yet. We'll get to that one probably tomorrow. So we're just gonna go. We're playing on our giant sidewalk area right now, and then this afternoon we'll probably go for a real walk out there. We're just getting used to our cues and our prompts and learning how to use this transitional leash since this is the first day he's worn it. He's doing an awesome job, and so we're just gonna continue playing here. All right, we finished our training walk. If you remember, we had free play, training walk, bed, reflect, and then we started over again. He had his free play where he went and played with his friends. We just finished our training walk that you saw. Now we're back to bed. We're going to be a little longer on the bed this time. Last time we did like 15-ish minutes. This time we're going to go longer. We're working on him being in this calm state of mind. So I need his bum to be down. That can be in a sit or a down. So he has to stay on the bed, all paws on the bed, and tails and heads and everything. And he's got to be in a calm position. When he tries, because he's going to try, to get off, we're going to first try that distance pressure, because my goal is that we'll only need to correct the distance pressure. However, if I need to grab the leash because he's gone too far walking back, I'll walk him back, and then I'll apply distance pressure. So now we're just working on, we had contact pressure, now we're working on distance pressure. Remember, you're purchasing one of these beds today, so don't forget to find wherever you want, whatever style you want, but just some sort of raised cot for him. And we're working on being calm, cool, and collected on the bed. So that was beautiful. I didn't correct him. I came in right from the walk, started the video. I took the transitional leash off the nose. He laid down, so this is my time to go love on him. A lot of times people ask, you're not giving any rewards. When do I get to love on my dog? Now. This is perfect. When he's been good and is being good and does something good. So I haven't had to correct him. He's doing awesome, so I'm going to go give him some good love. I can sit with him on his bed. And I can be here as long as I want it to be. I can sit here for an hour with him if I want. Whatever I want to do. On the bed is the perfect time, once they're getting comfortable with it, to do a snout to tail assessment. I can look for burrs, hot spots, lumps. I'm going to play with their tongue and their teeth to get them used to brushing their teeth. I'm going to play with their paws to get them used to cutting their nails. I'm just going to desensitize them or familiarize them to being touched all over. So that way, whenever they need to go to the groomer or if they need to go to the vet for some reason, they're not super out of their comfort zone because they've never been touched all over. And it gives me a chance to know my dog, to know what they're good with, what they're not good with. If they have any lumps that I need to kind of watch to make sure they're not growing, that's the perfect time to do it. So now I'm going to go around the house. I'm going to do my daily living. This is where training and life mesh together. The best training program you can ever do is a training program that works with your life, not a training program you have to try to fit into your life. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So I go for my walk in the morning. I need it. He needs it. We both enjoy it. Free play is fun for him. Sorry, I went backwards. Free play is fun for him. Gets the wiggles out. He has to get those wiggles out or he's not going to be able to focus. We do our training walk. I'm giving him that mental stimulation he needs to learn and grow and just really work his brain. Then we're in here. I'm giving him that love and attention. I'm getting all my stuff done. I got my exercise in because I did my walk. I got chores done while he was doing free play. And now we're on the bed and I can get chores done while I'm in the room with him. So I'm not going to stand here and watch him, but I'm going to stay in the same room as him right now. Hopefully by the time he leaves, I'll be able to leave for a couple minutes at a time. Eventually it'll get longer and longer. But right now I'm going to stay in the room with him, and I'm just going to live life. We're going to start knocking on doors, and people are going to start coming in, and I'm going to release Caleb, and he's going to run and scream, and we want Sully to learn how to just be calm, cool, and collected, and embrace the self and not have anxiety or be worried, because he doesn't need to worry because I've got this. I'm in control. I'll take care of him.